Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast is Why Are You Resisting the Moment? My daughters and I decided just to be together during the holidays. I had a lot of feelings about their father getting married, and we decided it would be best for it to just be the three of us this year and not get together with my family. And in my mind, I was thinking, isn't this wonderful? We're going to have this great dinner and it's going to be the three of us and we're going to have so many laughs and we're going to have so much fun. And I booked a reservation at a really nice restaurant. And when I got to the restaurant, they had given our table away. And the minute it happened, I started to feel a little bit of a pull. And I was able to stay present and I was calm, and they put us in the bar area. And after a while, they sat us at our table. And one of my daughters, I won't say which one, just stopped talking through most of the meal. And we're a chatty bunch, and we're usually laughing and we're usually happy together. So here I am at this restaurant. It was tough to get the reservation. I'm spending all this money thinking this is going to be the best night ever. And one of my daughters is not speaking. The other one's getting irritated. And I'm watching myself have this resistance to the moment. And then our food comes. And what's so interesting about the food is that they had a turkey dish, which had turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and a vegetable. And for the last 20 years, I usually made Thanksgiving and before my mother, and we are not the best at cooking turkey. So it's usually dry, or I never really had the opportunity to eat a really good Thanksgiving turkey. So here I am, and I'm looking at my plate, and it looks beautiful. And I'm being so pulled into this moment and feeling so grateful. I started to eat the food, and I have never tasted better turkey in my life. I never tasted better stuffing, better potatoes. And so there were two things happening at once. Every time I resisted the experience I was having with my daughters, I was pulled out of the moment. I was eating without tasting the food. And so I kept flipping back and forth between being really focused on my food and enjoying it, and then resisting the moment that we weren't having as good a time as I thought we were going to have. And then we left the restaurant, and when I got home, we all went our separate ways. And about a half hour later, my daughter came up to me and said that she had a bad stomach ache during the meal. She didn't want to ruin it. And within an hour, we were all in my bed laughing and having a great time. And we'd ordered dessert. And everything was back to the way it normally was. And the reason why I bring up this story is that I was watching myself battling between presence and resistance. And what happens when we resist the moment? What happens when we're resisting what's happening? Because we don't like it, because it's not meeting our expectations. It's threatening the idea that we had about how life should be. Sometimes it threatens our identity. We might lose a job. Someone might leave us. Sometimes it threatens what we think was security. Sometimes it just threatens an expectation. Whatever it is, those are the reasons why we resist the moment. But it really takes us out of what's happening in the moment. And in the moment, sometimes there's really something beautiful happening. I had this beautiful meal in front of me that I was tasting and then not tasting because I started to get into the dynamic of my expectation. So it's just this really interesting thing that we do. And even if the particular moment that we're in is not that enjoyable, it's only in this moment that we live. It's only in this moment that we create. And when we go through periods of time when we're always worried and we're always stressed, there are many moments that we miss, many beautiful meals, laughs, joys, new opportunities, because this is idea of how things should be. And I think I've never been in a situation before where I was so clear that I was flipping back and forth between expectation and presence. And I have to tell you, the presence was much better. And if I think about it now, what was so bad about three people who are usually laughing and having a great time together being a little quiet at a meal, speaking, but maybe a little less, chewing their food a little bit more, enjoying their drink? And I'm clear that had I let it go and just said this is what it was, which I did it at some points, I think I would have enjoyed this turkey dinner more, and maybe it would have given some space for things to change, because once we got home, there was space for everybody. One daughter didn't feel well, and then the other was disappointed, and then we just all let it go. And so it's so important that we look at that, because we don't even know we are resisting the moment. It's almost unconscious. We're not aware of the fact that we get into this mindset of this should not be happening. When we see it's raining outside, we get disappointed about the weather. Like, who are we to get disappointed about the weather? Why would we even bother resisting that? We're much better off just accepting it, because we can't do anything about it. But most of the things that are happening in the moment, life has taken over. What's happening is happening. If we could feel less threatened and we could be more present and not resist it, then it's not going to own us. And if it doesn't own us, we stay in control of us. And when we control ourselves, we're not stressed, we're not as worried. We will make the best decision that we need to make in the moment and stay open to all things that are possible. One of the worst feelings in the world is resisting when something is happening and it can't be changed in that moment. Remember, the future's uncertain, so whatever the moment is bringing to you, it's not going to last forever. Things will keep changing. And if we could stay present in the moment and not resist when it's happening, we are one with the moment, we meet the moment, we partner with the moment. That's the thing we don't see. When we stay present and we partner with the moment, that's when we could really create new things in our lives. Because we're facing the moment without the resistance. We're centered, we're open, we're going to make the best decision. We're going to be open to what's happening. We're going to see the opportunities. And even if it's painful, we're more likely to find our way if we stop resisting what is. And again, I don't even think most of the time we are aware that we're doing it. We're doing it over little things all day long. I don't like my coffee. It's not hot. Why did that person say something? I don't like that happened. Oh, I'm disappointed about this. Why is this happening? Again, we're allowed to have our feelings, but these little irritations are just resisting when the moment is trying to tell us something. Life is moving in a direction, and the quicker we allow it to move and we make choices and we make decisions, we really enter a new phase of our lives. We'll have more energy, we'll have more joy, and we see another way to live. Why did I need my daughters to be joyous and happy at that meal? Of course, every parent wants their child to be happy, but what's wrong with just eating a good meal? And I hope you think about this when it comes to your relationships or your plans or what you do or what you don't do, and you just go a little lighter. Try to see when you have expectations. Try to see when you're disappointed. Try to see when something annoys you. And maybe take a deep breath and say, can I partner with this moment? Can I be okay with it? What's happening here? How am I feeling? How can I get to a place where I'm not in resistance? Because I'm telling you, the moment is always offering you something. And we're always missing it when we're telling the moment it shouldn't be the way it is. When we partner with the moment, life becomes much more magical. No matter what it is, even if the coffee is cold. It's not that you don't get up and warm it up. It's not that you don't go back to the coffee shop. But this is what happened. And you don't get into this annoyance. You don't get into this frustration. You stay in the flow of life. The client canceled. You stay in the flow of life. You didn't get that job. Your child calls you up upset. You didn't go on that date. You stay in the flow of life. Because this is what's happening, and who are we to say it shouldn't have happened? Doesn't mean we can't plan for the future. It doesn't mean we can't try to make things better. But without resistance, we are partnering with the moment, and the moment's going to lead to another moment and another moment. And then we're building something. We're building more joy, and we will access more possibilities. The future is unknown for a reason. It's unknown because our job is to complete the moment, not resist it, and know that the future is a field of infinite possibilities. And we put ourselves in a different space where we are allowing life to happen. We keep our heart open. We're available to everything. It changes us in a really deep way. We see the sacredness of every moment. We live more deeply. And again, we live with more joy and with more hope. And we always know that maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my books, The Gift of Maybe or Year Without Men, they're available at all major bookstores and online retailers. And if you'd like to listen to The Gift of Maybe on audiobook, it's available on all audio platforms. And if you like this podcast, I hope you subscribe and leave a comment.